Hi everyone, I'm Richard.
And I'm Dave.
And we are looking here at Ark Survival Evolved on the Xbox One, which is an early access style title from what I understand, Dave.
It is, yeah. It's basically early access. You can buy the game now, but what you're getting is basically an unfinished, kind of a beta test in a way. So you get to play the game for 6 months, test it out, and give feedback to the developer.
Okay, and when's it actually out?
It's out in June this year.
Okay, so plenty of time for them to actually make the game better, because right now it's, well, I don't know, from a technical perspective, it seems to be a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it definitely is. When playing that, the frame rate is extremely variable throughout the game. So yeah, so this scene here is probably the game running at its best at the moment. It tries to target 30 frames per second, but hardly ever gets there. So what we're basically looking at is an uncapped frame rate.
Well, I actually think it is capped. If you look here, it's running at 30 FPS. It's slightly above. I suspect it could probably go higher. Generally speaking, we seem to be mostly under 30 FPS, and here in this particular scene we're seeing pretty dire frame rates, 20 FPS.
Yeah, these sort of scenes, whenever you get into areas with lots of foliage, alpha effects, the frame rate tends to drop, and in long draw distances especially, it tends to go lower, so we see frame rates below 20 frames per second.
And we get horrible controller response as well, and you get those big dips there. There's like, I don't know, half a second pause before we're back in the action.
Yeah, this scene here we're coming up to, it's probably one of the worst experiences I've had so far. As you go over this cliff where the draw distances expand, the controller response just goes down the toilet. You see the spikes in latency
it's
there.
really not good at all, but it's kind of weird because the game itself is actually a lot of fun. Obviously it sold 1 million copies of them. Oh wow, we're down to like 13 frames per second. But yeah, people seem to really get into this game, and I think it's basically a great example of the concept being much better than the execution. I suppose at this time, obviously there's 6 months worth of development time, but there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen before it's a presentable game, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the concept itself works great. The hunting, the crafting of weapons, and obviously you get to look at the dinosaurs in like a natural environment, and they hunt each other and stuff. So that's kind of interesting, but it's just a shame that technical point of view, the game's really disappointing. I mean, outside of performance, as you've probably noticed, the resolution's really low as well.
Yeah, so we tried to put a pixel count on this, and it came to something like 1088 by 612, possibly 624. So it's actually the first sub 720p game that I think we've seen on the Xbox One.
So yeah, I mean, they managed to sell 1 million copies of Ark on Xbox One, so...
Yeah, it's not even finished yet either, so there's a lot of development time to go. So hopefully they can pull it out the bag. But, obviously early days at the moment, and there is a lot of work to do here to whip this into shape, so fingers crossed they can do it. But that's all we've got for now. Please do give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you soon. See you later.
I'll see you later.